On August 10, 2024, 25-year-old Kaitlynn June Lee was fatally shot in Indiana while she and a friend was busy filming a TikTok video. Early in the morning, New Albany police found Kaitlynn unresponsive in an apartment after reporting to a shots-fired report. Kaitlynn was with a friend when this happened. While they were busy making a TikTok video in the kitchen, they heard banging on the window with the barrel of a gun. The friend heard Kaitlynn ask, "What are you doing here?" just before she was shot about 2 to 3 times. Kaitlynn was shot in the head, and she was pronounced deceased at the scene. Kaitlynn was born in Jeffersonville, Indiana. She was a loving mother of 3. She had already endured a lifetime of loss. She was grieving the demise of her fiancé that took his own life, and she had also lost her father. What is when families say she fell for 25-year-old Joshua Thompson? He became the father of her youngest child. According to a family member, the relationship ended violently, and Kaitlynn had been staying with a friend to avoid her ex-boyfriend. According to court records, Joshua had been arrested in April and charged with domestic battery committed in the presence of a child. They issued an EPO to protect Kaitlynn. He was served an order of protection and is scheduled for a pretrial hearing in September. Pamela Greenwell, Kaitlynn's aunt, said that Kaitlynn had to hop from place to place to be able to stay away from Joshua. She has moved 3 times in the last 4 months trying to stay away from Joshua. She also said that there were several children inside the apartment. Kaitlynn's friend told police that Kaitlynn and Joshua had been in a toxic relationship. She then told officers that Kaitlynn once stated that if she was ever found deceased, Joshua would be the one responsible. The friend also said that just before Kaitlynn was shot, she saw Joshua standing outside the window alone, holding a gun. Joshua was arrested and accused of fatally shooting Kaitlynn. The gun was later recovered at the scene. Joshua called his brother immediately after the shooting, crying, and he admitted to shooting her in the head. He was advised to call 911. He told the dispatchers that he shot the mother of his child and that he would turn himself in. A neighbor who witnessed the shooting said that she heard a man screaming before police ran into the apartment. During his interview with authorities, Joshua said he went to the apartment that morning, despite there being an active no-contact order with Kaitlynn, to see if she had other men over. He waited outside for 20 to 30 minutes before looking through the window. The TikTok video that was being filmed during the shooting was reviewed by police in New Albany. It showed Kaitlynn and her friend laughing, dancing, and lip-syncing to a song before a blast can be heard. Police said smoke could be seen in the video before it ended. Joshua is now also charged with slaying, criminal recklessness, invasion of privacy, and unlawful carrying of a handgun. Joshua has entered a preliminary plea of not guilty in the slaying case. Court records did not list an attorney representing him. Kaitlynn's cousin, Jeanette Roberts, said in a GoFundMe appeal launched to help with the funeral arrangements, "She didn't deserve what happened to her. I will never be able to wrap my head around how or why someone could do something so inhumane. Because of someone's selfish actions, her 3 beautiful babies now have to grow up without a mother." Joshua will be held without bail until his trial, which has been set for March 24, 2025. In April 2019 in Las Vegas, 5-year-old Lariah Davis tragically lost her life after she was taken to a Las Vegas hospital with at least 100 bruises, including 20 broken ribs and a laceration to her liver that authorities believe was the cause of her demise. The coroner's office in Las Vegas said that Lariah passed away on April 9th of blunt force injuries. According to the autopsy, she had 20 newly broken ribs, internal bleeding, a lacerated liver. Her skull had multiple contusions and bruises to her heart, diaphragm, and connective tissue at the time of her demise. Lariah took turns living with her mother, 31-year-old Amy Taylor, in Nevada, and her father, Donan Davis, in Central California. Her mother lived in an apartment in Peckle Ranch, a community on the west side of Las Vegas. Lariah was found unresponsive at her mother's apartment. She was then transported to Summerlin Hospital by medical personnel after her mother's boyfriend, former NFL player, 33-year-old Sierra Wood, called 911. Sierra played for the University of Notre Dame before a brief NFL stint, with teams including the Houston Texans and Buffalo Bills. He also played for the Montreal Alouettes in Canada. A child fatality disclosure form from the Division of Child and Family Services revealed Child Protective Services had 1 complaint about the child's mother in December of 2018. The complaint did not indicate any abuse or neglect, An investigation into Laraya's demise revealed details of the extensive abuse the girl suffered prior to her demise, mentally and physically. Sierra was arrested at the time. Sierra would use intensive workouts like running sprints, doing sit-ups, and wall squats as a form of punishment for Laraya. Sierra claimed he was trying to get her on the right path due to her being chunky. Sierra told the police that on the day of her demise, he made her do sit-ups after she reportedly did not learn her letters and numbers. He claimed that Laraya hit her head after she fell backwards. Sierra and Amy were convicted of slaying in 2019. Sierra's lawyer, Thomas Erickson, argued that his client did not inflict the injuries that led to Laraya's demise, but should have protected the child more. He blamed Amy for sitting on the girl's chest and holding her down. He said that Sierra was at work at the time and didn't know she had done that. Judge Jacqueline Bluth said Amy blamed Sierra for everything and claimed he was abusive towards her and her daughter. Then Sierra claimed Amy abused Laraya, and he kind of did nothing. She said it was hard to grasp that he did nothing when his family stressed his strong personality and willingness to fight for what he stands for. Sierra reached a deal with prosecutors and pleaded guilty in April 2024 to second-degree slaying and felony child abuse. Amy also pleaded guilty to second-degree slaying and felony child abuse as part of a deal with prosecutors. Sierra was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 10 years for the slaying charge. Judge Jacqueline Bluth also ordered him to serve between 28 months and 6 years for the child abuse charge. He must serve the sentences consecutively. According to the plea agreement, prosecutors dismissed the remaining felony counts of child abuse that they initially had filed against Sierra. He entered what is known as an Alford plea, a formal admission of guilt in criminal court that allows a defendant to still claim innocence. Amy was sentenced in July 2024 to life in prison, with the possibility of parole for the slaying charge and 8 to 20 years on the abuse charge. Laraya's father said, "She had so many people that she touched, and she's only 5. Her not to be alive, and how much life she had, that's the tragic thing about it.